We got a special one today. This is Principles of Winning. I am Desmond Clark, the host of Principles of Winning, where we interview highly successful entrepreneurs, executives, athletes, politicians, and entertainers to discern their principles and disciplines that they applied in their personal and professional lives to create the mountains of success that they've experienced so we can too continue developing our personal and professional success playbooks for our own lives. But before we get started with our interview today, I just want to say a special thank you to my guy, Timothy Parker from Nationwide, who came on last week and gave us a great interview and so many different nuggets of wisdom on how to navigate corporate America successfully. Thank you, Timothy, for that. This episode of Principles of Winning is brought to you by Des Clark Speaks. Des Clark Speaks is your preferred keynote speaker and corporate team development specialist. We help executive team leaders create pinnacle team success by establishing principles of winning. If you want to learn more about how we help executive leaders like you build teams, build championship level corporate teams, go to www.desclarkspeaks.com for more information and sign up for our free executive roundtables. Now let's get into it. This next guest is a very, very special person to me. And I can't wait to speak with him. Ralph Wilson is a proud father, a supportive brother, a trusted friend, an inspiring motivator, generous philanthropist, and a fisher of man. As a site leader of DHL Supply Chain in Baltimore, Maryland, he is determined to lead his team to success and fully expect to be awarded the prestigious 2024 Diamond Award. And with that, let's bring on my brother, my big brother, my oldest brother, Mr. Ralph Wilson. How you doing, Ralph?
Great, man. Great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. It's been a minute since I seen you, since you was down here in Florida over there in Clearwater. It's been a few months,
Water.
man.
Yep.
Yeah. So definitely glad to see you. And like this is a special one for me because you've meant so much to me over time. The things that you've done, things that you don't even know that you've done, has helped shape me into the person that I am. And I still see you do the same thing today with a number of other people. But I want to start with this. Let me go back to it. So I say it the right way. The prestigious 2024 Diamond Award. You say that you fully expect to win that award. What is that award? What does it mean to you in your industry? And why do you fully expect to win it?
Hey, that's the football of the Super Bowl champs. So you the best of the best, and that's what we strive for. We strive to be the best, and every day that we get up, that's what we're reaching for, to be at the top of our game. So when everybody thinks of Baltimore and DHL Supply Chain, they think of us.
Now talk about we. Who is we? DHL Supply Chain Baltimore. How many people is that? What goes into that? What about that site? Tell me a little bit more about who is we.
Our site is we got about 22 associates, drivers, dock associates, and supervisors. And we reaching for that common goal of just being the best. So success is not achieved alone. It takes many of us together to be able to make that happen.
And what do you guys do? So people hear DHL, but there's many aspects to DHL, right? DHL is this supply chain, is this big global company. Explain what you and your team, what you guys do.
Yeah, we're in the automotive sector, so we deliver parts, and that's just one sector of it, so it's many facets of DHL supply chain. But my group out of Baltimore, we in the automotive sector.
And for this prestigious award that you're talking about for 2024, what goes into that? What do you have to do? What are the metrics that they are grading you on to establish who is number one?
Safety, definitely at the top of the agenda. Safety, culture, um, uh, many different metrics of meeting customer expectation, um, financials.
Mm.
A whole lot goes into us being the best. So we have to make sure that we hitting on all cylinders. It's just like winning the game. You
Yeah,
know, one it can't be lopsided. We got to be hitting on everything.
right. You got to play offense, defense, and special teams.
Absolutely.
And that special team seemed like that's the safety part of it, right? Because man, you could change a whole lot if you have a couple of safety mishaps. It could shift the field. What is it that you have to do as the site? You're the site leader. What is it that you have to do to make sure that you guys are hitting all of these metrics? Tell me about everyday life for Ralph Wilson as the site manager at DHL Supply Chain in Baltimore.
Well, you got to let your team know the score of the game. Because we have to know what we have to do. We got to know where we are. We got to know, if we on the goal line, if we on the 50-yard line, or if we even on the field.
Mm.
We have to just make sure that as leaders and myself, supervisors, that we giving the team the score of the game so they, you know what to do to help them be successful.
And when you talk about score of the game and safety, let's break that down to the actual ABCs and one, two, threes. What what are the things that you have to implement with your team to make sure that the safety protocols and the standards are up to par?
Well, I think with the team, I mean, it's nice to have a competitive team. So, everybody wants to be good. So, we share those scores with the team. So, they can measure themselves by their teammates and measure themselves by industry standards of what we need to get done. But also not let their teammates down because, if you got the score, we measured on 100, when it comes to safety. And if you got several guys at 100 and then one guy at 80, then we need to know what we need to do to help that guy that has that 80 to bring that score up, so he don't affect the overall score of the team.
That's interesting because when I speak to a lot of teams, most teams don't have these quote unquote scoreboards. When you're able to show everybody their score, and then hey, if there's one person that's not bringing it like everybody else, or maybe two people, you know, it seems like that can be detrimental to somebody's psyche. So how do you show somebody, hey, they're not doing well, but also keep their motivation high and keep them wanting to do the job without feeling that type of shame?
Well, I mean, you have to encourage your team to be able to, lean on your teammates. That's what they're there for. To they're the SMEs. Always let them know that I'm just a person that direct you in the direction that you need to go. But the SMEs, subject matter experts are the people that's doing the work. So they are there to help you to help you improve and to bring your scores up. And those are the people that you need to lean on. Don't look at it as a weakness. Look at it as you know um, you know my teammate is going to support me and to help me be better, and that's what we implement.
And when you got to Baltimore, where were you guys ranked, and then where are you guys ranked right now?
Like the Nasdaq ball, we were low, low, low. But we bounced back consistently. We're in that the high tier, number two. Occasionally we get the number one, but we definitely got some competition within our network that keeps us on our toes. So we can consistently on the goal line, but now we just got to push ourselves over the goal line.
Got to cross it. Got to
Yep,
cross it.
yep.
Wait, so here's something that I'm interested in on, and I think people who are listening, especially if they're a new leader or they're a leader like yourself, trying to get the ball over the goal line. Um, you only been in Baltimore for a short period of time when you're thinking about maybe what just about a year now,
Yeah, a little bit over a year.
a little bit over a year, and you come in with this, hey, we're gonna be the best. we're gonna be number one. And if that don't suit you, then you're probably on the wrong team.
Absolutely.
And I know how you approach your work. How does that, when you come in with that type of bravado and that type of confidence, um, how do your team take that?
Well, I think the team already has that winning attitude. Who gets up in the morning and you know set themselves up to lose? You know, so it's just getting the person that's overseeing them to want to win with them. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and this is what we're gonna do. I just need you to be your best. I need you to control what you can control. And we're not gonna ask you to do anything else. But your assignment. As you know in football, just do your assignment. Take care of your part, and then together we're gonna succeed.
You got this saying, control what you can control. And I know you've told me before, some and I think this was in your old at your old site. Some people, hey, if they got some things that they might have messed up on, when they walk into your office, the first thing they say is, Raph, I know you're gonna tell me we got to control what we can control
Absolutely,
before the conversation even starts.
absolutely.
Um, break that down. What does that mean? Control what you can control.
I mean, that's all you can do, things that, in especially when you're in transportation, you can't control the weather. Definitely can't control other people. You can't control traffic. So anything that's in your control, just let it be that. Don't complicate it. So if it was in your control, that's all we need from you. Don't add anything else to that. And you when I do interviews and things like that, that's all we're gonna ask you to do. What is within your control.
Life is hard enough as it is. The job is hard enough as it is. Don't add nothing else to it.
Don't complicate.
Yeah. Now here's the question. What makes you so confident that you're the person to come in and make this team, not make this team, but help to get this team to number one? What makes you, Ralph Wilson, brave enough and confident enough to think that you're the person to get it done?
Um, I got confidence in the team. Not so much confidence in myself. Some things are people just need to know that they are. You got to know that you're the best, and it takes somebody to tell them that.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. Sometimes as men, we need that encouragement. We need that that attaboy, or somebody just to uplift you. You need that hug sometimes. And to say, I appreciate you, and that's it. That's the secret sauce.
So I'm not gonna let you get off that easy because I know you're a humble person. I know I know where you come from. I know how you was raised, and I know that's the answer that we give. But you come in, you don't know any of these people before you come in. You don't know none of these people. You don't know who you have. You don't know who you're working with. But you coming in with just unshakable confidence. I'm gonna turn this thing to not around, but I'm going to turn it into the number one site. So that part ain't about the people. I want to know why you think that you are the person to do it.
Um, I don't like to get whooped. So it's just that simple. And when you start to you know be around your team, you realize that they don't want to get whooped either. They want to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just being able to drag that out of people. To say, hey, are you with me? I need you. It's not about me. I need you. And I always tell my team, I need you more than you need me.
Mm-hmm.
And I those um, look for those talents. Look for that um, empowerment. I look for that leadership in everyone, and
Mm-hmm.
just letting them know, hey, I need you. It's not about just what I can do; it's about what we can do.
Right.
And together, we're gonna be successful.
Absolutely. Um, let's shift. Let's take it back
Hmm.
because you had to develop these characteristics and traits somewhere. Now, early on in life, you used to live with, our great grandfather, grandmother, and you didn't always live at home with us. And there was a time in your life where, hey, things could have went left or it could have went right. You wasn't always making the best decisions. Um, Talk about that briefly, and then talk about what made you shift your mindset to say, okay, I want to go down this road that's going to lead to prosperity instead of the road that you might have been going down when you were 15, 16, 17 years old.
Yeah, I think that that shift for me, for one, being a parent, and for two, um, being an older sibling is a lot of responsibility because
Okay.
if you don't get it right, then you're responsible for the path that your younger siblings take, and that's you know can be literal or you say most people say, hey, it's not your fault if somebody make a decision, this and that, but for yourself, for our brother Paul, and you have to shift and you have to pivot because they want to be like you, and if you don't make those decisions and those right decisions, especially when you're doing the wrong thing, you're responsible. And I had to take that serious and make some changes, because I care about you guys too much to be not doing the right thing. Now, if I'm doing the right thing and you decide to do the wrong thing, I can say, hey, I did my part.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And just going back to the part where you said, you know, as an older sibling, younger siblings are looking up to you. And I mentioned this to you before we got on, and I don't even know if you knew it. When I'm on stage, 80% of my talks, I probably mention this. I mentioned how my father was on drugs. I mentioned how you was out on the street for that period of time. And I always mentioned that I was looking at my two biggest influences, and I was going to have to make a decision at some point which way I was going to go. And I just stop and I let everybody feel the gravity of what I'm talking about. And I say, hey, so just so y'all know how much influence my oldest brother had on me, when he started golfing, I went out and went to the flea market when I was at Wake Forest and bought my first set of golf clubs. When he started fishing, I bought a boat so we can go fishing. When
Yeah.
he drove a F-150, what kind of truck you think I'm driving right now? And I just paused and I let everybody just say an F-150. And that's the kind of influence you had on me because you was always that cool kid. Like you was always the person that had all the nice friends. You could do all the flips off the diving board and athletic and all of that stuff. So yeah, I wanted to be like my brother. And you're right. It was because of that shift that you made that it was like, okay, he used to do this, but now he's doing this. And the first thing I really noticed about your shift, because that shift wasn't easy, man.
Yeah.
Um, you were you were a stock boy at Albertsons, and you were working crazy hours, and your ass used to be tired as hell all the time. Talk, talk about, but I never seen you complain about it, and you was a young father at the same time.
Yeah, you got to do what it takes, so work ethic, you have to get out there and make it happen, because you can complain about it, but it still needs to be done, so that was before control what you can control, but at the same time, some people are content being homeless, and I hope I don't have to do that, but you have to get out and make it work, so having a job, having two or three jobs, was a
Hmm.
big deal for me. So work ethic. I mean that was just a part of it. If it was a dollar to be made, show me how to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
And that was that shift that I seen from. All right, my brother used to do this, but damn, like he working his ass off, like, and
yeah,
and I and I could see that, and that was the first time that I really seen work ethic.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was my first time really just noticing and seeing somebody. Man, he go to Albertsons, and where were you? You were working somewhere else at the time.
Oh
right?
man. Yeah, I always had my own little side hustles that I can do, and lay tile and put indoors and things like that. I work temp jobs. Um, I worked at shrimp plants, bread plants.
BG Shrimp. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if somebody was going to pay me, I was definitely going to learn it.
So you went from working minimum wage jobs, temp jobs. You dropped out of high school,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, it seems like something clicked in you, man. And you wanted more, and you decided to go for it. What was it, a moment in your life that you just said, you know what, I'm sick of it, or I'm ready to go for it, or whatever it was? Was there a moment that you like it just switched for you?
Yeah, that moment was you guys, and definitely being a parent, because I didn't want that responsibility of you guys not making it because you wanted to follow me,
Hmm.
so that's what it was all about, and me and Uncle Jimmy always talk that, man, people don't know the weight of being a older sibling. I mean, it's a
Mm.
lot of weight, and sometimes I think that's more weight than being a parent, especially when, you influence your younger siblings, and you guys made that shift for me because, listening to you and how much, you wanted to be like me. No, I couldn't carry that weight if I didn't pivot, I had to make some things happen and happen fast.
And you said that phrase earlier, make it happen. Like you got to go out and make it happen. For Ralph Wilson, what does make it happen mean?
Just don't accept the hand that you was given. You
Hmm.
we talk about fair, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair, it don't exist, you know. And if you just play the hand that you were given, believe you me, you're not gonna make it. You just gonna accept whatever the circumstances are. Um, you just gonna accept whatever life gives you, and that's how it's meant to be.
Mm.
Me, no way. If you want it, you got to go get it. So what may be difficult for some is not difficult for me simply because I'm special. I'm God's child. And when you're God's child and you know that you supposed to have the best, then that's the way you should live.
Absolutely. You got the cards that you were dealt, and it seemed like you exchanged one, got another. Exchanged one, got another. You went back, got your GED. You went back, uh, got a bachelor's degree. You got certifications. How difficult was that to do, when you was doing it? Where you could have felt like, man, I'm a little too old for this. Like people was doing this in their 20s, and now here I am in my 30s, and maybe you were still finishing up, right in your early 40s, right? Um, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Um, how difficult was that to go back and submit yourself to that part of getting to where you wanted to go?
It's all about just getting a reward for your pain, and it's many times if I didn't do it, you know, where my kids gonna end up, whether my brother's gonna end up, you finishing college, and it was a lot of weight, and if I gotta do it, simply because I didn't want to give you guys excuses,
Mm.
and as well as my kids, because if I can do it, I got my bachelor's degree. I was 48, and can't remember when I got my AA, but it was all about if I can do it, working full time job, um, and just you know putting in a lot of hours of work in school and things like that. You can't give me no reason why you can't do it.
one of the things that you did, you took a step back to take a couple steps forward, because you used to drive trucks, and I guess you said, hey, that's not the future that I see for myself, and you took a step back and pay so you can go and pursue the avenue that was going to serve you and your family best, as far as career, pay, joy of life, and all of that. Most people don't want to be able to take that step back, to be able to take those 3 steps forward. If you had to advise somebody on the benefits of what you've done, what would you say to them?
Whew, that's a great question. Um, you got to know your faith, because when you look at the numbers, I think I took $35,000 pay cut,
Ooh.
uh, DHL supply chain. So a lot of money, and believe it or not, it was my daughter, that helped with that, about taking that step back, but just knowing that, God gonna take care of you, because um, you know, when I look back on it now, whew, yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot. But just thinking about the people that you come across, the
Mhm.
lives that you help change, and if I wasn't in position, the people that I was able to inspire, and people that were able to inspire me. I never would have came across those folks if I never would have took that chance and took that. People say pay cut. Now I got stabbed pretty good, but it was a choice. But when I did get to the site that you came to in Greer, I remember one of the leaders there say, "Hey, Ralph, you get it all back," and to realize, the cut that he took was 50,000.
Ooh,
So
God.
when you think that you're doing bad, ah, somebody out there always got a much bigger challenge than you have.
And talk. So now you went through all of these challenges, right? You had a lot of adversity coming up. You had to face a lot of different challenges, and you overcame those things, and still overcoming. Like the end of the story hasn't been written yet. Uh, Through all of that, what are the 3 to 5 principles, disciplines, the reason why you can say that you are winning? What are those 3 to 5 things that you would say that you develop through those challenges and tough times?
Um, just knowing what leadership is all about. You know, it's the difference between when people say that they're a manager or a boss. I never want to be a manager or a boss. You definitely want to be a leader. And in one of those stories, when I realized that being a leader, again, the site that you came to visit, I remember being on the floor talking with an associate, and the guy told me the reason. He said, "Chief, the reason why I tuck my shirt in is because I see you tuck your shirt in."
Mm.
Man, that changed me. But that just let me know that they was watching,
Hmm.
you know, and something as little as having my shirt tucked in made this guy change the way that he dressed, and that was powerful. That was powerful. So how you carry yourself is everything, and I think one of the main things in business and in life that helped me to pivot here um, as I got older. As we you know watched our mom. She never complained. As she was going to the end. Never complained. And everyone that came in contact with her, um, she they always asked how she was doing, and she said she was doing good. Never complained at all,
Ever.
ever. And that's the thing that I'm going to drive the rest of my days. Might not be as good as some, but I'm better than most. And
Yeah.
and to realize that you know I might have a bad hour, bad 2 hours, but you ain't gonna get my whole day.
Yeah.
No way. Because mom never complained, and she knew she was on her way out, and I look at that as um, the biggest display of courage I have ever seen. You
I,
know,
I have often talked about that. And I'm glad to hear you talk about it too, because that was one of the biggest lessons
yeah,
that I learned, for her to be knowing that she's gone. Never once did I hear her, say why me, or this ain't fair, or any
right,
of that stuff. None of that stuff. It was I remember, you know, the day or two before she passed, um, she wanted me to read a Bible to her.
yeah,
Just little stuff like that, where not that's not even little. That big display of courage and strength. And you know why she was doing it. She was doing it for us.
right,
She was doing it for us.
yeah,
And to see her do that just empowered me more. And that's one of the things that I live by. No, no, I almost cursed. No freaking complaints. No
yeah.
complaints. You cannot complain. So glad to hear you say that. You said one of the things that you learned through your coming up, facing challenges, overcoming obstacles, is you learn what a leader is. What is a leader?
A leader is someone that um, people are in line to follow. You know, and and to realize that you met Corey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey is one of those guys that whatever he needs, you know, um, you don't even have to just tell me what you need from me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so he's definitely a leader, and he's one of those people that takes care of you. He's one of those people that builds you up, and also you know um, builds you up in areas that you need, and I look at myself as being, a leader of sorts, and that, even when you're a coach, people want to go where you are,
Mm-hmm.
because of your style of leadership. People want to be there because you can encourage them. Because being a leader, you wear a lot of different hats. Sometimes I'm the counselor, sometimes I'm the person that defends them. I'm the person that loves on them. I'm the person that um, definitely let them know that you can do better. And a lot of respect. A lot of
Mm.
respect comes with leadership.
You say you the person that can let them, that you can go in and say, hey, you need to do better.
Yeah,
But then you also said that you also are the guy that'll go give them a hug.
absolutely.
And Principles of Winning, the book that I wrote, one of my principles is, well, for one of my principles is the power of relationships. And in the power of relationships, one of the key components to establishing a power relationship has been encouraging and challenging all at the same time, where you can kick somebody in the butt but be their biggest cheerleader all at the same time. But that's a balancing act,
Yeah.
because you know who when do you do what, and do you do it at the right time, and how do you balance those two things, as being the cheerleader but also being the person that, hey, the literal or the not so literal foot in the butt type person.
It's about knowing the individual, and I think a lot of times, as when you're coming in as a leader versus as a manager, knowing your team. You got to know what drives them. What you got to know their hunger. You got to know what motivates them. You got to know what makes them sad. So and learning that you're able to adjust and give them what they need. And sometimes it's tough love, and sometimes you got to be able to put your arms around another person and just say, "Hey, I love you." And ask those questions. Hey, man, did anybody tell you that they love you today? You
Yeah.
know, and be that. But you have to get the chance to know someone before you can actually start to implement that leadership uh, way of life.
But people say that's soft, man. People say that's too soft. You can't get the best out of people by doing that. Um, it just don't work. It's just soft. How would you respond to that?
But I got some real soldiers, and that will do anything for you. It's a lot of fights that I have been in, um, meaning that my soldiers take care for me.
Mm-hmm.
They won't allow me to put myself in a battle. They always tell me, "Hey, we'll take care of that for you." You know,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that um, um, the respect is there. They know I'm gonna love them. I'm gonna take care of them. And but some things they don't want me to deal with because it takes away from them. And um, just meaning that I always say they're saying, "Hey, you guys gonna miss me when I'm gone." I mean that, but that impact that I'm gonna try to have on people is gonna be when they write their life story. They can't leave me out, and that's the impact that I want to have on people. And and I just want God at the end to tell me that I helped out enough people. And so far, I feeling pretty good.
Man, you just said that when people write their life stories, you want to have so much impact on people that they have to put you in that book. I've
Absolutely.
never I've never heard anybody say anything of the sort. And I've
Yeah.
been around a lot of leaders. And I often tell you, you need to get out and speak some more. And you need to get out and tell people how you lead, because the way that you do it, you can influence a lot of other leaders. You can be impactful. So right now, I read a lot of John Maxwell. He talk about, so you can be a person that adds to people's lives.
Hmm.
So, or you can be the multiplier. You can be the person that adds to the other leaders, that's going to add to everybody else's life, and,
Yeah.
and multiply that impact. And I know that's where you're going, right? But I always challenge you to hey, speak up a little more. Go out and do a speaking engagement, or that type, or those type of things, because that what you just said, most people, they're not trying to make that big of impact on people. Um, do your team trust you?
They do. They do. And and um, that's a lot. Definitely a lot. But I trust them as well. So a lot of times I don't want to just take from you, but I need to be able to give to you. So when I do interviews, we always ask of them, "This is what we're going to need from you." But I always ask them, "What do they need from me?"
Mm-hmm.
And that's my mindset. Even when I came to the site, it's not about what I'm going to give to you. Tell me what you need. Tell me
Mm-hmm.
what you need, and I'm offering myself to you first. You know, tell me what's broke. Well, what are those pain points? What are those challenges that you have? And we go from there and we build from there. So, I know a lot of people come in and say, "Hey, well, we're gonna change this, this, and this. I've seen you struggles on this, this, and this." And no, I'm the total opposite, because the people that's doing the work are the people that need the support. They don't need for you to come in and say, "Hey, I'm just going to change everything." They need that support from you, that you're going to take care of them. So, and that's where that trust comes from.
You say you wear a lot of hats as a leader.
I
What's
do.
What's the most important hat?
Uh, being able to listen, I guess you could say, being that listener,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not about, just being in the automotive sector. You know, I got fathers, I got brothers, I got, sons, I got daughters, you know. So I just don't want you to be a good employee. I want you to be a good person. Because if I can just tell you, how to go out and be a great driver or to be a great dock worker, I'm failing you.
Mm.
I need you to be able to go home and to be a good spouse, be a good sibling, be a good, um, um, kid, be a good parent. I need you to be able to hit on all cylinders, So being a leader is not just one dimensional, Being a leader, you got to be able to take care of people from different points of view, different stages of life, and so that they are successful um, in you know in every aspect of life.
You you have your personal principles and your leadership principles. What are some of your you mentioned one, um, control what you can control. That's one of your leadership principles. What other leadership principles or philosophies you carry with you as staples to help you be the leader that you are?
Um, just not complaining, man. Not complaining. You may be having a rough day, but you may not be as good as some, but better than most. I see people when I come to the site. One guy always say, "Hey, Ralph, I was looking for you. I needed that hug today," or and I always tell them that somebody's always willing to trade places with you on your worst day. You
Mhm.
know, and um it goes back to mom again, hey, never complain.
Yeah.
And so what do you have to be so down about, that you can't overcome? When someone is on their way out, and life is over, can you still smile and say, hey, it's gonna be a great day? We saw that.
Yeah. And to the day, it's still amazing.
Yeah,
It is still amazing.
yeah.
Um, man. So finish this sentence. As a leader, and you got to finish it with one word. As a leader, Ralph Wilson is one
And
word or a phrase. I'll give you a phrase.
yeah, I say impactful.
Ralph Wilson is impactful. As a person, Ralph Wilson is
Uh Loving, caring.
for Ralph Wilson to grow, he has to for Ralph Wilson to continue to grow, he has
Empower others. Yep, empower others.
to get from the 1 yard line and push the ball across the goal line for your site to become number one, like you were at your last site. Ralph Wilson will have to.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Um,
Now, I'll give you more words on this.
um, it, it's just lead the team. Just lead the team. Um, the things that we do every day. We just have to continue to do them well and don't become complacent. You know, because sometimes when you get at the top, you realize, hey, I can relax a little bit.
Hmm.
So and we just can't do that. And definitely as a leader, the team didn't fail. As I failed. You know,
Hmm.
because they get the direction from me. You know, um, I just have to make sure I'm delivering the message, so the majority understands. And if they're not getting the message from myself, then I got to bring in a translator. Somebody else can perhaps give them the message. But if we don't win, it's because I didn't lead them right.
As for Ralph Wilson, this is what is next for me.
Um, what's next for me is being able to see all the people that you empowered reach that level of success, and knowing that you played a part in that.
Anything I leave out?
No, I mean, just life is good. Life is good. We take for granted a lot of times the gifts we have been given, and we so busy focusing on the things that we don't have. We got to focus on the things that we do have. And a lot of those precious things are, the people that we share our lives with, whether it's in business or whether it's personal. We share our lives with so many people that gives to us and also takes from us. And it's value in both of those.
And the last question for me, why do some people win and some people don't?
Mindset, it's all about mindset. I think that every day that you have to, that you get a day, know that you're going to win. It don't have to be something spectacular, but yeah, win the day, absolutely. And it's those baby steps. I'm going to win at something today. You know, and some days we do take those. Um, I'm not going to say losses. We take those. We didn't achieve as much as we wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of like I found some ways how not to do it. I didn't lose. I just found out some ways how not to do this or not do this. And tomorrow I'm gonna, I got a different approach. But I never lost.
Right.
Just gotta take it at a different angle.
Only time you lose is when you stop. That's the only time you lose.
Absolutely.
Um, I'm a firm believer in, hey, let's not count the minutes. Let's not say, oh man, I'm about to go out and practice for 2 hours and all you focused on is for the 2 hours. I'm more focused on, did I make some progress
Right.
within those 2 hours? I don't care if I didn't make any progress for until the last 3 minutes. Did I make progress? How
Right.
much progress are we making day to day? Is like the most important metric if it could be measured in my mind for a winner.
Yeah.
Make progress. Because sometimes your progress is not going to be as much as the next person's. Sometimes it's going to be greater than the next person's. But for you, did you make enough progress for you to be satisfied with your work today? And if you
Absolutely.
could say yes, then go to sleep and feel good.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember I used to be on calls, and my director would call me out and say, "Hey, Ralph felt like he was in last place." Well, we wasn't in first place, And so and but that's the goal, and we got very talented teams that within our group, and they're just not going to lie down and give it to us.
Right.
But I know that we so much better than what the score was. As we were climbing towards the top. And still to this day, we're going to make that. And we're going to be consistently at the top. So when people mention winning, they're going to see Baltimore.
And you told me last week you ain't interested in being the conversation. You want to be the conversation.
Be the conversation. Yeah, yeah. We're just in the conversation now, but we want to
Yeah,
be. Yeah,
absolutely. All the way. Baltimore is the conversation.
absolutely.
Everybody talking about us. And I have every belief that you're gonna do it. You've done it before. And that's another thing, man. Hey, how do you gain confidence? By providing evidence to yourself. and you've already provided evidence to yourself that you can get it done. You'll get it done. You'll get it done again here at Baltimore, even with the stiff competition. But this has been Principles of Winning, a special edition for me because that is my brother Ralph Wilson on the other side of the screen, a man who helped shape me into who I am by watching him. Never really said anything to him about, hey, you doing that made me want to do this. It's just watching what he did, saying, you know what, man, that work ethic. Dude, the dude works hard. And that's where I got my work ethic from this guy who you're saying right here. And we both got our temperament, our demeanors, and our attitudes from our mom. So, hey, this has been a special one. This is Principles of Winning. You guys check back in with us next week when we drop the next episode. See you on it. See you on the next episode.
Peace.